Kawasaki has always been a name that stood for speed, power, and staying just edgy enough to make other brands sweat. From the snarling Z Series Nakeds to the hyper aggressive ZX lineup, the Japanese Green Giant built its rep on bikes that didn't just perform, they made you feel something. Raw, loud, mechanical. Their lineup practically growled at you. They built their reputation with the Ninja line. They earned loyalty with bikes like the Z900, the Vulcan series, and the bulletproof KLR 650. Machines that took abuse, asked for more, and didn't apologize. But now, Kawasaki is trying something completely different. They've gone electric. Enter the Ninja E1. This was supposed to be their entry into the electric street bike world. Lightweight, urban focused, quiet and clean. Built for city riders, short commutes, and a low emissions future. But just a few months into 2025, it's facing a full blown recall. So the question isn't just whether the Ninja E1 had a rocky start, it's whether Kawasaki's entire electric future is already on shaky ground. I'm Matthew from Autozium, and today we're breaking down what went wrong with the Ninja E1, what it means for Kawasaki, and what it means for you if you're watching the EV motorcycle space closely. Let's get into it. Part 1. What went wrong? All right, first the facts. In 2025, Kawasaki officially entered the electric game with the Ninja E1 and its sibling, the ZE1. These were light-duty, entry-level electric bikes built for urban commuters and short-range riders. They weren't meant to go toe-to-toe with Zero or Livewire. They were priced low, styled sharp, and aimed at folks who wanted a cleaner commute without jumping into an electric car. On paper, the specs were modest but functional. Swappable dual battery system, top speed around 55 to 60 miles per hour, approximately 40 to 50 miles of range in eco mode, twist and go throttle, no clutch, simple, smart, and very un-Kawasaki. These weren't thrill machines. They were quiet commuters, a vision of a cleaner, calmer city ride. But then came the problem, a recall. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NTSA, released a bulletin stating that the battery locking mechanism on both the Ninja E1 and ZE1 could fail during operation. In layman's terms, the battery could disconnect while riding, not just turn off, not just glitch, physically dislodge. And for a vehicle that only runs on battery power, that's catastrophic. No power, no brakes, regenerative braking included, no throttle, and no ability to even coast safely in some situations. Kawasaki responded quickly. They issued a full recall. They said it was an issue with the locking tab and that all affected units would be serviced free of charge. So far, no injuries or crashes have been reported. And that's good, but the damage is done. When you're launching your first EV motorcycle and you're already late to the party, you cannot afford mistakes like this, especially not when they relate to the thing powering your entire platform. It's a bad look, and it has everyone asking, did Kawasaki rush this thing out the door? Part 2, was the Ninja E1 always doomed? Even before the recall, the Ninja E1 and ZE1 raised eyebrows. The bikes look cool, no doubt about that. Classic Kawasaki sharp angles, aggressive urban styling, and that unmistakable ninja face. But the performance? It was lukewarm. In a world where even budget electric bikes are pushing 75 plus miles per hour and 100-mile ranges, the Ninja E1 felt underbaked. Its top speed was limited to around 55 miles per hour, fine for city streets, but terrifying if you accidentally wander onto a fast-moving highway. And the 50-mile range? That's on a good day, with one rider, no luggage, in eco mode. And then there's the price. You're paying almost $8,000 for one. For comparison, a Kawasaki Ninja 400, a real deal gas-powered sport bike with actual highway capability, costs around the same or less. And it'll eat up a Ninja E1 for breakfast in every performance metric. So what was Kawasaki thinking? Honestly, they were playing it safe. The E1 wasn't about performance. It was about proving they could build an electric bike. It was step one. But now, With this recall, it feels like they didn't take even step one seriously enough. When you're Kawasaki, a brand known for bulletproof reliability and overbuilt machines, this kind of misstep hurts. It undermines trust. It creates doubt, and it puts a giant question mark on their EV future. Part 3: Why this matters for the whole industry. You might be thinking it's just one recall. What's the big deal? But here's the thing: electric motorcycles are still new to most riders. Trust is everything. When a company like Kawasaki enters the EV space, it's supposed to signal stability, maturity, the idea that electric motorcycles are finally going mainstream. But this recall, it shatters that image because it's not just a sensor glitch or a bad firmware update. It's the physical battery, the core of the bike, coming loose. It's scary. And it reminds everyone watching that this tech still has growing pains. It also gives fuel to skeptics, the old school riders who already say electric bikes are toys, the mechanics who don't want to deal with EV diagnostics, the buyers who are nervous about spending big money on a platform that hasn't been proven. One stumble from a major brand like Kawasaki makes the whole industry look a little less ready. That's why this matters, because every EV motorcycle has to fight for legitimacy, and every recall sets the timeline back. Part 4: Where Kawasaki goes from here. Let's not pretend Kawasaki is going to fold up their electric division over one mistake. They're in this for the long haul. They've got patents for hybrid motorcycles already on file. They've publicly stated a goal to electrify or significantly reduce emissions on their full lineup in the coming years. And they're actively working on hydrogen powered two wheelers, a move that could redefine the whole industry. So, no, the Ninja E1 isn't the end. It's the beginning, but it needs to be followed up with something better, faster, safer, more capable. Something that actually embodies what Kawasaki has always been about. If they can deliver an EV that rides like a Ninja 400, has the range of a KLR 650, and the tech support of a Z650 RS, they'll be back in the game. Big time. Until then, they've got some rebuilding to do. Part 5: What riders should do. So, what does this all mean for you? If you already bought a Ninja E1 or ZE1, Kawasaki will fix it. They're standing behind the bikes, and there haven't been any serious incidents reported. You're not out of luck, but you are now part of Kawasaki's EV beta test group, whether you meant to be or not. If you were thinking about going electric, this is a reminder to be cautious. The tech is promising, the benefits are real, but it's still new. It still needs time to mature. And unless you're fully comfortable being an early adopter, maybe hold off a little longer. Watch how Kawasaki responds. Watch what they release next. Watch how other brands like Honda, Yamaha, and Suzuki approach electric bikes in the next 12 to 24 months. Because the future is electric, but only if that future is trustworthy. Final thoughts: a setback, not a failure. Kawasaki isn't doomed. Far from it. They're one of the most respected brands in the world for a reason. But the Ninja E1 recall is a reminder that legacy doesn't guarantee success. Even giants can slip. The difference is how they recover. Kawasaki has the resources, the engineering talent, and the global footprint to fix this and come back stronger. But they need to show riders they're serious, that they're not just checking a box or chasing headlines. They're building the next generation of motorcycles. And they need to do it with the same care, precision, and grit that made the Ninja name legendary in the first place. So is Kawasaki's electric future a risk? Yeah. But so was the original Ninja. So was the H2. So was the KLR. Sometimes risk is where greatness starts. Now they just have to prove they're up for it. I'm Matthew from Autozium. Ride smart, ride aware, and I'll see you out there.